Hey everyone out there, it's Mr. Vesda. I'm here with our first story for the week. Now, this is our first real unit in our Wonders program. So, this is our first big storybook that we're going to read together. We kind of had a practice story for the first few weeks, and I'm going to talk about the story a little bit before reading it. So, if you're in KB, I hope you're listening and ready to listen to a nice story together. Okay? Our story is going to be a story that's called fiction. Okay. Now this is in black. You see the word fiction, and then underneath in blue, I wrote the words just for fun. Okay. And that's what I want you to think about when we read this story. So we've read some nonfiction stories where we talked about how nonfiction means that they happen in real life. Fiction means that it's just for fun. It's made up. So in fiction stories, you might have characters that are animals that are behaving a lot like people do. They might be talking and doing activities that people like to do and acting just a lot like we do. So that's how you know a fiction story is just for fun. It's made up. It doesn't happen in real life. And that's the kind of story we're going to look at together today. Okay? Our story is about two friends that have a little bit of trouble throughout the story, and we're going to read to see if they'll get along the whole time, or if there's going to be any problems with their friendship. Okay, so let's take a look at the story, and we'll read it together. We'll talk about it together, and I'm super excited to share it with you. Okay, you can see the cover of our story right here. Now, when you're at school with me, we'll read the story again with our big book, and you'll be able to see the pictures a little better because they'll be much bigger. But our story, when we look at the cover, the title of the story is What About Bear? What About Bear? Okay? And the author of our story is Susan Bloom. She is the person who wrote this book for us. Now, when we look at the cover, we see a bear who's kind of looking over here. And I don't know about you, but when I look at this cover, I don't think that the bear looks very happy. He kind of looks sad to me. He's facing away from where we can see him. His head is down. He doesn't look like the happiest bear that I've ever seen. So let's read and talk about what happens in our story. Okay, on the first page, we see Bear, and we see another character here that looks like a goose. Okay. Um, Now, our story, the text of our story, which is the words and sentences, starts right here. We have a very short sentence. It says, "Let's play." Let's play. When we take a look at the picture, it looks like Bear and the goose are having a good time. It looks like they're playing in some sort of a toy box. Let's take a look at the next page. Now, this page does not have any words on it, but we can kind of write the story in our heads for ourselves. I see Bear and I see Goose. They're smiling and laughing. It looks like they're having a great time. It looks like they're playing with some puppets. Now, let's talk about that word fiction. Remember how I told you that fiction is just for fun, and it means that the story is going to be made up if it's a fiction story. It does not happen in real life. Look at Bear and look at Goose. Think about what you know about bears and geese in real life. Do real animals like a bear or a goose play with puppets like this? No, they definitely don't. So this page right here is a good reminder that we're reading a fiction story. Okay, check out our next page. It looks like we have a new character. So we had bear and goose, and I think we could see this character on the last page if we flip back. There he is. Okay. Um, so this looks like a fox. So let's see what the fox says. Our sentence here says, "Hey, can I play?" So now we have our character, the fox, who's asking bear and goose if he can play with them. Okay. Okay, let's see what happens next. This next part is a very, very important part of the story. So this is where the story really starts to pick up. Check out the picture. On this page it says, "Sure, jump right in." Okay, so the fox just jumps right in and bear says, "Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead." Now, this is where things start to change a little bit. Okay? Fox says, "I want to play a different game." So let's think about this. Before Fox showed up, Bear and Goose were having a great time playing together. Okay? But now it seems like Fox wants to do his own thing. He wants to play his own game. How does Bear look? How does Goose look? Let's flip back a couple pages. Look how happy they look here. Now let's go back to where we are in the story right now. Do they look as happy? No, definitely not. They look pretty sad, or just kind of annoyed, like they don't really know what's going on and why the fox jumped in and wanted to change the game so quickly. Okay, let's see what happens next. Oh, so it looks like our little fox here made a hopscotch. Okay, that was big enough for him and maybe Goose. But our sentence says, "What about Bear?" Bear is too big. Okay? So the hopscotch board that Fox made is too small for a big bear, and he's having some hard time playing with it. Okay, now when we look on the next page, Bear is in kind of a sad position here. He's off to the side, kind of hiding behind the toy box, like he doesn't want to play anymore. And Fox says, "I want to play a new game." Check out what game he's holding. Even if we doesn't say it in the story, we can use the picture to figure out what the characters are doing. If you've ever played this game before, you should recognize the board. This is a checkered board. It looks like Fox wants to play checkers. Oh, so now Fox and Goose are playing checkers, which is a two-person game, and Bear is left out again. How do you think Bear feels when he's being left out of all these games? Try to imagine how Bear might feel. And the words on our page say, "What about Bear?" Bear is too grumpy. So Bear is being kind of grumpy, but I gotta say, I don't think I can blame him. It seems like they're leaving him out of their games, and I can understand why Bear is grumpy. Now they're putting the checkerboard away, and it says, "I want to play another new game." Okay. Now, it seems like Goose is feeling the same way Bear is. Okay. It seems like our fox here is just being very bossy and always wanting to do whatever he wants to do. Oh, poor Bear. What about Bear? Bear is too far away. Oh no. Look at Bear. He kind of looks like he just wants to leave. Let's see what happens next. So Bear is starting to leave, and Goose says, "But Bear is my friend. Wait, Bear, come back." Oh no. Bear is trying to leave, and Goose is trying to stop him. Okay, I think our friend Bear is feeling very sad. But now Fox is all alone. He says, "What about me?" So Fox was being so bossy and only doing what he wanted to do, and now he's all alone. I hope our characters in the story can figure out a way to fix this. Bear is my big, old, sometimes grumpy friend. You can be our new friend. So now we have Goose trying to bring the characters together. Okay? We have Bear over here, Fox over here. Both were kind of doing their own thing, and Goose wants to bring them together. So, do you want to play with us? This is Goose talking. He says, "So, do you want to play with us?" "Yes, I do." So it looks like it's working. It's looking like Goose is going to be able to bring these friends together to play nicely. Okay, jump right in. Wow, I love how Goose was able to figure out a way to let all three of them play together. Goose had a very smart idea. Jump roping is a great game for three people. Two people get to hold the rope, and one person gets to jump. Goose was a good problem solver. He saw that Bear was getting grumpy and sad and wanted to leave. He also saw that Fox was being bossy. So Goose was able to solve the problem by finding a game that they could play together. And at the end of the story, everyone is happy. We've got Bear and Goose and Fox all together, all as friends. Okay? You did a really nice job listening to our story. We'll listen to this story at school too with our big book. I'm very excited to read it to you in person, but I'm glad you got to enjoy our story together online. Great job, KB.